Hey guys, welcome again to We the Panel, a Terrace House podcast. A podcast where we talk about Terrace House. Hey there, my name is Jason, the one and only once again, and I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the panel. We got here our resident TikToker. Hey Cheska!
Hi, I have lights now in my room, so...
Ooh, so pretty. It's so pretty. And we got the one and only, the magical, the smooth James.
Hey y'all, I got wet ones in my room now.
Hey. Got to keep it clean. Here we are all again for this episode, for episode 9. But again, we're talking about episode 8 of Terrace House of Boys and Girls Next Door. And oh my god, before we start, I know, I get it, we gotta talk about our initial things first. This episode is called Disarray in the Terrace House, guys.
Disharmony.
Oh my gosh, does it make a difference? Really? It does, but yeah. And yeah.
Man. It was a time. It was definitely, I feel like this episode, it was very eventful, and even the times where it was like down, it was still very engaging, which I thought was really interesting. But first of all, of course, what do you guys think of disharmony in the Terrace House?
There's a lot happening, and I'm pretty sure I predicted or I wanted something like that in the last episode, and now we're getting a lot of it. So I feel like I'm probably overanalyzing every scene now, which is kind of fun for me.
And that is really about what Terrace House is, because there's a lack of drama going on a lot of these episodes, so that one little moment just becomes a huge moment. And there's a lot here to unravel, especially with what happened with last episode. So it's like the aftermath, and boy, how they handle it is very interesting.
Speaking of course, the episode started with you talking about everything that happened last episode, which of course is its own thing. But the episode actually starts with exactly what Jason was talking about. It's the morning after the party, and Sena and Masato talk about the party, and basically Sena just told him that she doesn't really remember anything that happened, but the one thing that all of her friends talked to her about was the fact that she and Masato kissed, which was interesting in the way that Masato and Sena kind of went about it, because Sena was like, I'm sorry about everything that happened, but Masato was super chill, super mellow, it's cool, that's what parties are about. And I was just like, what? I feel like Masato is on such a high horse, because he's got one girl going after him in Rie. He just kissed the other girl in Sena. And I'm just like, bro, he's just so, Cheska's gonna get in on this, but, bro, the sleaze is definitely coming out.
What I've been telling you guys since episode 1.
Yeah, tell us, Cheska, tell us, what did you see in this, just the first scene? Because that was a lot.
I don't know, I just expected everything that Masato would say. He's like, oh yeah, it's whatever, it's just a kiss, who cares, kind of thing. And then and then with Sena, I was kind of surprised by her response, just because I thought there would be something hidden in her facial expressions, but she didn't really show anything, unless I'm totally reading it wrong. But yeah, Masato, sleazy. 100%. How about you, Jay?
So I think he got hurt as soon as she said, I don't remember.
Oh!
That's how I portrayed the scene as. Because I think Masato's maybe he did have feelings. Because, they did spend a lot of time. Then all of a sudden, things got heated at this drunken party. And, they kissed each other. It didn't seem like a little kiss, too. It was like a makeout sesh, right? But I don't know, based on how the episode was shown as. Yeah. Then, of course, the morning after, Sena goes yeah, I don't remember anything. Oh. And Masato already is like, I'm gonna ask her what happened. walks in with like, yeah, like you said, James, like a high horse, like, hey, yeah, so you know what remember happened. And of course Seina's like, actually I don't remember, but my friends did tell me about this. Did we? And like she was like, I don't know, it was weird, like I couldn't read her, like either she was doing it on purpose or she actually legitly doesn't remember, like during that event. But as soon as she said I don't remember, I see like this twinkle in the eye of Masato be like, you don't remember? Oh. and like how his defense mechanism works, I guess. I'm thinking overthinking too much. I gotta play it cool because if I look like I care, I lose the battle. So of course he went like, oh word, you know, it is what it is, fam. and you know what he did right after.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Speaking of right after, man, this guy Masato, man, the bounce back king.
Bounce back.
To give a little context, so it cuts to Rie in her room on her, I was gonna say laptop, I wasn't really paying attention, but it was a DVD player. Yeah,
DVD
she was
player.
on her DVD player. She's learning some choreo for her next performance, and then Masato walks in, he's like, oh, and then basically he just kind of watches her for a sec. And then the big part of that scene is that he asks Rie to go out to the pancake place that she was like raving about last episode, and she was so excited. So basically, yeah, they're gonna be going out on. Can you call it a date? I'd call it a date.
It's a date.
Yeah, it's a date.
So they're going on a date the next day. What do y'all think about the bounce back king?
So going off on what Jason said, if he was heartbroken by Seina, then Rie is probably the rebound.
Yeah,
Oof.
I agree.
That's tough.
Yeah, like it's tough, but you know, Masato's like, I don't want to be like too hurt, so so I would just go straight to Rie. And then with Rie, I feel bad for her because I know she likes Masato. And like, once Seina's like, oh, I kind of like you, Masato, he's gonna leave Rie right away.
Oh no.
Yep. This is why guys are scumbags. Like, we get hurt, then we just gotta go to the next one, and you might hurt someone else. And unfortunately, Rie might get hurt this moment because she was so excited about like getting asked out other than Taechan.
Yeah.
So I feel bad. I feel bad.
Oh no.
And like for the love of goodness, man, like Masato with his hoodie, like, yo, you're inside, man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we'll definitely get to the date. But there was one part that I don't think you guys noticed it when we watched it. But I saw it was actually during the intro theme while that Taylor Swift was playing.
Oh.
Right. And so you know how during the intro theme it shows like all of the people and then kind of like a summary of who they are and like their profession or whatever.
Yeah.
So it went to like every person, and then when it went to Taechan, so what it would say before was aspiring firefighter, right? Of course. But then I don't know if it happened this episode or last episode, because I wasn't paying attention much then, but I caught it now. Now it says Tetsuya, whatever his last name, tentatively aspiring fighter. Yeah, because this guy doesn't know what he wants to do. Like, is he going to be a firefighter? Wow. We have no idea. But yeah, that's just a little thing. But moving on, of course, to the date and so the next couple scenes were shot really well because it panned back and forth from Masato and Rie's date and Taechan, Seina, and Shota sitting in the kitchen. So we'll go from one situation, and then we'll talk about another situation after. So we'll start off with Masato and Rie. So the next morning, Masato and Rie go out on their date, and on the drive there, Rie tells Masato that talking to Taechan is like talking to a high schooler, which is a yikes. It really highlights how young he is, how immature he is. yeah, that's rough. But once they do get to the pancake place, you can tell that Rie's like she's so excited, she's elated, you could see it in her face. But when they get there and the first thing that they order is an omelet, I was just like, why would you order an omelet at a pancake place? But I digress.
That's something like
But then,
Sato would do. I don't know.
Yeah, and when they get the omelet, Masato does this like I don't know if it's like playful or flirty thing where he draws stuff with ketchup. He drew what I thought was a cat. Rie thought it was a cat, but I'm assuming that's like an anime character. That's probably popular there. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But then the pancake actually does show up, and it's just like it's literally like whipped cream
Yeah.
featuring pancakes. Like it looked like there were like 4 pancakes on the bottom, and then like a Christmas tree of whipped cream, which is like, okay, sure. But then during the date, Masato asks Rie about her date with Taechan, and then Rie gives Taechan's date an 83%, which is of course excellent. But one thing that she noticed is that lots of girls around her, so I'd assume maybe like other AKB48 members or maybe like some of her friends, they always talk about how like they like Taechan a lot, but there's a difference between liking someone and just thinking that they're cute. And then their segment ends with Masato and Rie talking about how they want to go out more. So with all of that thrown up in the air, what do you guys think of the entire date sequence?
It's a lot.
For sure.
Okay, let's do baby steps first. Again, Masato, he has a hat this time and a hoodie. That's his thing. I feel like, okay, when he's sad, he has a hoodie on.
Oh gosh.
And like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that's his vibe. Like, oh, like I don't wanna deal.
Is that true?
I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe just the fact that he's still, I don't know. It seems like he hasn't changed, like, his clothes, even from when he asked Rie to go to the pancake place. Yeah, it seems like a Masato thing to order omelet at a famous pancake place. But, yeah, that was kind of cute, drawing that cat, or that Doki Doki, I think. But, there's a reason why he's not in the arts. He's us. Right? There's a reason why he's a surfer, not an artist.
The amount of shade.
Honestly, yo, I'm gonna go in today because this guy has the audacity to act all cool instead of, accepting his feelings. And instead, yeah, he's ignoring it. But anyways, yeah. Pancakes kind of overrated in that show.
Ooh.
Like, in that sense. If it was a good pancake place, put some ice cream on it. Like, you just can't put a ton of whipped cream. But this is Terrace House, guys. Sorry for the food. Great date, though. They seemed like they had fun. And the cuts from them to the date showing to the house members is so, like, gold comedy because it's, like, cut so abrupt. Like, they're at the date, like, oh, yeah, that's a funny-looking animal. Cut. You see Shota. And Taechan, and looking like he lost a family member, while Seina's still trying to recover what the heck happened. And I'm like trying to explain what the like. Oh yeah, so they went to the pancake place. Oh yeah. Oh dude, what happened? Da, 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 da. And then they just come back again, and it shows them with like the different food. It was pretty funny, but I get why they kind of showed it that way, just to show like, hey, they're kind of like the emphasis of like these two people, Taechan and Seina, kind of had a romantic interest with those other two people that went on a date, and now they're having a great time, and they got left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, totally agree with Masato wearing a hat and a hoodie indoors. Like, my main thing is, you're on a date and you just decide to leave all of that on your head.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, it's just weird. Pancakes. I like pancakes, but not that much whipped cream. I thought that was like way too much. Um, in terms of the date itself, yeah, it was cute, but I don't know how to feel about it.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
What do you not know?
It's just, it's like, I don't know, it's just Masato.
She hates everything about this guy. Oh my god.
Okay, no, I like the fact that he's a mama's boy, but like,
Oh, we're past that.
but we're past that. But I don't know. I think he was kind of trying too hard to impress Rie with Sena. It's not that much.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like he wouldn't do that kind of thing, like draw a cat with like ketchup to Sena. He wouldn't do that.
Oh, I see what
And,
you
like,
mean.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like I'm thinking of what is his motives?
That's so interesting that you think that because I don't agree.
Oh,
I think Masato's just so laid back and is like a low-key clown that like he just doesn't care and he just does whatever and he's just like, "Oh, I've seen people do this. It's funny, right?" Yeah. Like cuz like Masato's whole like personality, and we've talked about this so many times, but he's just chilling the entire time, right? So it kind of makes sense that he's like going in like the hoodie and everything. And another thing is like you said that he's trying too hard. I think he's not trying enough.
oh,
Because if he was genuinely trying to do something, I feel like he'd look nicer. He's gone out with the guys in like a flannel and like a t-shirt, stuff like that. And yeah, like I feel like he's not trying hard enough. So is anything gonna come from it? I don't know because Rie looked very excited, especially when they were talking about how like she wants to be a shonen girl because she's never been around
right.
shonen. And Masato was like, "Yeah, I'll take you. Let's go whenever you want to go. I'm down." So I was just like, "Okay, yeah, like this. It's like something could come from it, but it just doesn't seem like Tae-chan's trying. And I don't know if that's just by nature, or I don't know if that's just like part of his plan. I have no idea."
I see what
wait,
you
Tae-chan
mean.
or Masato?
Masato.
I see what you mean. Do you
yeah.
think the fact that I like your perspective because of like he's not trying. I think he's not trying because he's trying to get over Sena right now.
Right.
He's still bumming over the morning.
He's bummy about the like, oh man, I can't believe she didn't even acknowledge that kiss, bro. Like whatever. I don't care, but like I should, but nah, bro. Like that's how I think he is with his chill vibe.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
More.
Okay.
Not even trying.
Okay, now my thing is, if you're like kind of basing on his clothes with his date with Rie, he kind of wore the same thing with Sena. So was he even trying with Sena?
Where have they gone out again? Where did they
Like-
go out? Because they've only gone surfing and running.
Surfing, running, and then I guess like the mundane grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's casual. They've never gone out to like eat before. Like I feel like with Terrace House, like the big like date spots are usually just like food spots, or
Oh,
like
I see.
the theater if you're watching Aloha State, but that's irrelevant. But yeah, so like a lot of the places that we've seen have been like actual like date spots, right? Like, but with Sena and Masato, they've just gone running. Sena's just seen him surfing, into which he had to wear a wetsuit. And yeah, like we've never actually seen them go out on something proper.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't have much clothes. Makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't have much
you're not
clothes.
wrong.
Maybe he doesn't have much clothes. He brought with him. He brought too many surfboards. And he did say, like, oh man, I did my laundry. And there's that episode. It's like, why would you even bring that those pants, dude? And like, I remember in a couple episodes when they watched that AKB48, like that special thing. I think we even riffed on him saying, "Why are you wearing, bro?" Like, it's
Oh yeah.
it's like so casual. So I get it. Maybe it's just him. He doesn't have much clothes. So like during the day, it's hoodie, but when it's like night, flannel shirt.
Flannel.
You know? So I think, yeah, he just doesn't have much clothes. But
I feel that. I feel that. As someone who is also part of the hoodie and then flannel community, I feel that.
you know? Like,
okay.
but what do you guys feel about like when Taechan and Sena was talking, like about where were they, like, ooh, with Shota?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'll just quickly get into that.
Yeah.
So while that date was happening, back at the house, Sena, Taechan, and Shota are in the kitchen. And Sena talks about how her and Taechan were left behind on that little date. And there was this weird moment where Taechan asked Sena to go to the same place with him. And Sena's response was, "Are you angry?" like, and then straight up Shota was like, okay, Taechan, answer me this real quick. Would you rather go on a date with Rie or with Sena? And straight up he was like, Rie.
Without hesitation, too.
I know.
Yeah, like that was, oh man, Taechan, man, he's just trying to cope, I think. He's gone through a lot of losses lately, you know, from his exams
Oh no.
to Rie.
It all makes sense.
Oh,
It
no.
all makes sense now. Why he acted like this in this episode? Oh, it makes sense. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Lot of
Taechan's
Ls.
really at like the lowest of lows right now.
Oh
and you
no.
can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What else do you guys have to say about this? Because, damn.
Yeah, like Taechan was hurt, but Sena did not care at all.
And phased.
Like, yeah, she was so not phased about Misato going on a date with Rie. She's like, okay, cool. Taechan was like, I need to get revenge, so Sena, come with me.
Yeah.
That was basically what I got out of it, and then Shota was there to like stir something.
Yeah, he's an instigator.
Yeah,
See,
he
guys?
was.
See? He sits in that same spot in the dining room place the whole time and just be like, I wonder who's gonna be here today. Think about it, guys. When he came home, same spot. Where's everyone? Where's everyone?
Oh my gosh. That I have a comment about a later part in the episode where I'm gonna reference that.
Okay.
But are we okay to move on?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Yes? Alright. So, after all of that, we pan to another scene, which highlights Taechan. Poor Taechan. Who lost his DVD. So he's looking around the house for it. He looks in the kitchen. He talks to Shota, who's in the same spot. And he doesn't know where it is. So then they move to the guy's room. And they're just looking for it. And while they're looking, Masato turns from his bed and he's like, where'd you put it?
The audacity.
That just kind of sparks this entire like tension-filled conversation about like all of the guys' problems around the house. Because one big thing was that Taechan seems to be at fault for a lot of things that are going around the house. As an example, I know Masato talked about the washroom and how he told Taechan to clean the washroom, but then the washroom's still super dirty. I don't really remember what Shota said, but like, yeah, everything seemed to be blamed on Taechan, and Taechan even like said it himself. And like they were kind of laughing about it, but like I felt like there was a tension in the air as that was happening.
Yeah. I think Shota said the laundry wasn't done. I don't remember. I know laundry was in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we all know that these tensions are rooted into a huge love rectangle happening.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
Loki.
And then, yeah, Shota was there to like just complain about chores. Like, that's all he was there for.
Ah. Yeah, basically. It's like, I like how they're looking for a DVD.
Oh, yeah.
So weird. But I don't know, like, I guess he really wanted to watch that DVD, whatever it was, but they started searching the house, and yeah, I thought, like, Masato was out or something, and all of a sudden there was a frame of him like, are you sure you didn't check it at the car? And he turns back. Then, like, I guess that was the moment Teja's like, enough about you. You took my girl. Like, for a date. You know what I mean? And yeah, so they were complaining about what? The bathroom was dirty. Is Taechan supposed to clean it up? Like, there's a towel or something, like, left or whatever.
Yeah.
Then Taechan's like, but I washed the dishes so many times. And it was like, he was complaining. Like, it was weird because they're kind of laughing it off. But yeah, I guess they never really had that talk yet about, being roommates and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was interesting.
That's like,
Yeah.
that's so crazy because in back in like the very start of the episode with you mentioned that at this point they've been in the house for 2 months and they haven't had this talk. I'm just like, I'm so confused. I don't, like, it's wild. But I don't want to get too far into that. Oh yeah.
I actually have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that Taechan is like the joke of the house? Because they keep joking about him not doing the chores and then stuff with Rie to kind of like wipe it off and all that other stuff.
I can see it. He's the youngest. The youngest ones usually get teased. And yeah, he's been involved in a lot of things. So to just keep him being kind of like the center of conversation, it kind of makes sense. And he also just kind of seems like that kind of guy. I feel like he could really easily be picked on, which is sad, but also very true.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I definitely could.
Yeah.
I see him doing a lot more like house stuff in the episodes. I've seen him cook so much more times, clean dishes, like wash dishes, out of everyone else. Here's my perspective of Terrace House with the guys. Masato, too busy surfing, doing his own thing, and it seems like he leaves the house whenever, and like he does his own thing. Shota, too busy because he has a job, he teaches, and he probably chills with his girlfriend from the far distance relationship, right? So he gets home, gets late. Taechan ain't doing so much like that. Maybe that's why he's been doing so much like chores and stuff, and he just doesn't see it. But it's interesting that the fact that they lived 2 months together and they never had this conversation of like, hey man, who's throwing out the garbage or who's cleaning up the dishes, just makes me think that those two other people aren't really in the house that much. They're just there to sleep, to be honest. So maybe that's why. But like, I don't know, like it must be hard for Taechan because it's like he's the only guy in the house, I guess, all the time that's free, because like he has a part-time job being a garden worker.
Yeah. Sure.
So like he has a lot of free time, but maybe he has so much free time that he just leaves everything around. But it sucks though. It feels like he's getting the blame for things that he shouldn't.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We pan over to the girls' room where all three of the girls are there. It starts off with Momo and Rie. It starts off with Momo and Rie kind of talking about some mindless stuff. But then it goes to Sena talking with everyone. And Sena talks to Rie about the party and how she kissed Masato. And it was crazy because Rie, as she heard the news, she looked like she was completely heartbroken. Or that she just like completely doesn't believe it. Because she was literally just like, Majide? Like, are you serious? And she was like,
Yeah.
What? Like, it was, oh man, I could feel her pain. It was
Yeah.
tough.
Her tone of voice completely changed when she's like, "I kissed Makun." And then like, okay, for context, so she was like, haha, yeah, how was the party? It was so fun. That's Rie, right? Then all of a sudden she hears, I kiss Makun. What? I don't know, maybe I'm over exaggerating, but she really went on like
Her
a
voice
different.
drops too awkward.
Yeah, like what? And the word of that conversation, I'm surprised. I'm really, 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 really surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So surprising.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Rie got hurt. Or well, no, maybe she's just shocking because maybe it's like, oh, I guess that's what happened at the party. And I don't know. I was just like, the scene itself was just them. Wow, surprised, surprising, really, really, really surprised. Like, okay, we get it.
I feel like she doesn't know how to take in all that information. So that's why she kept saying surprising. Like, yeah, the wheels are turning for her. And she's trying to figure out if that kiss with Seina and Masato was serious or not. And she's probably questioning if Masato really wants to go out with her. So, like, a lot's going on in her mind when she heard the news.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure. It was, yeah, it's a wild time right now, definitely,
Yeah.
between all the members, especially with that love rectangle. Oh man, it's tough. But moving on, of course, it moves on to probably the next day, where Tae-chan and Momo are sitting in the kitchen, and they're talking about how it's Shota's birthday, which is amazing because I love Shota. But yeah, it's his birthday, and they're really just kind of planning out what they're gonna do. But then, Momo talks about how Seina and Masato said that they were gonna be home at 11:30, and it was already way past that. It was like 1 in the morning or something like that. And so Tae-chan was like, okay, yeah, let me just call up Masato really quick. So then he calls him, but there's no answer. And that was already getting to Momo. Like, you could tell that like they were kind of, I wouldn't say pissed off, but they were kind of annoyed because they wanted to plan out how to get ready for Shota's birthday. They wanted to surprise him, but they needed help with like cooking and setting up all the streamers and stuff like that. But they didn't answer, which really sucked. And I felt like it kind of focused on the tension that's building within the house. I guess I can kind of say that as for like the episode as a whole, but that scene kind of really pushed it there. So it skips to the next day, where Tae-chan is actually cooking for the party. He basically bakes an entire cake,
Yeah.
and then he even like styles it and everything, and it actually looks really nice.
It's really nice.
I thought like he did really good with that. And then him and Momo are making food. Tae-chan's making this really good looking beef stew. And like it's just like it looks really cool. Momo is setting up streamers. She did the thing that like a lot of kids did in elementary school with like the paper that they do in like the chains. I really like that. It was really creative. It was really cool looking. And then Seina and Masato just show up. It looked like Masato was probably taking a nap. And this guy just shows up. He was literally like, he walked in and he was like, Tadaima o. And it was like, this guy straight up didn't know what was happening. It was just like, okay. But then they basically talk about like how they want to surprise him. They're going to turn off the lights. And when he turns on the lights, they're going to say surprise. And yeah, so then they get ready for that. Tae-chan comes home, turns on the lights. Surprise! They have the little poppers. He has the most Shota reaction that I could think of, in which he literally reacted with, eh? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's nice.
I was like, yeah,
That's so
it was
nice.
cool. And yeah, so cutting off there, what did you guys kind of think of that whole little section there with the tension between Momo Tae-chan to Seina and Masato, leading into all the work that Taechan's been putting in, all the work that Momo's been putting in. Like, what do you guys think about that?
My question is, did they talk about doing anything for Shota's birthday beforehand?
We don't know. I do know that Rie asked Shota when his birthday was in that other episode.
But she
Yeah.
didn't care.
Yeah, yeah, straight up. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there was anything really mentioned.
Yeah, because like, I mean, we'll get to it later on in the episode, but my thing is, if they like discuss about doing something for Shota's birthday, I feel like they would have been there on time.
Hmm.
But since they didn't and they wanted to talk about it last minute, like I don't think they would have known about it. Like you can tell, Masato did not know that they were supposed to do something for his birthday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought it was weird why Momo would get really, really upset over it. But yeah, in terms of like them saying happy birthday, that was the tamest happy birthday I've ever seen on TV.
Oh, it was great.
It was just, yay, happy birthday.
Very Terrace House, like
Mm-hmm.
just enjoyable.
For sure.
Okay, so I think the reason why Momo was getting annoyed by it, I don't think it's just that one occurrence that they just come home late. So like I think they do it a lot.
Oh.
I think from what I remember from that, like what she was saying, like this is a common occurrence, I guess, and maybe that was it came to a point that maybe she messaged them or something. I don't know. Like we don't really know if they planned before. That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it came to that point where it was like, hey, look, man, I'm trying to message you. Like, it's Shota's birthday. Like, we should do something. And I guess the message didn't come across.
Yeah, I
But
guess
it was
so.
a great party. They know how to throw
Yeah.
a party. It's like, when Terrace House has these, like, birthday parties, oh, man, they're always a highlight. They're so full of fun and joy. And it's just wholesome content. And, like, yeah, see? Taechan's cooking. Like...
Mm-hmm.
He doing his thing. And Momo with the cute chain links. That was really nice. And yeah, it was a good time, man. That was a great birthday. Like,
Yeah.
it was a good vibe. Then things got down after.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
But yeah, I think that was the reason why I think Momo got mad, or maybe a little
Yeah.
irritated about it. I think
Yeah.
they do it too often. Yeah,
Okay, I see that.
maybe. Yeah, that's why I see it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But as you said, things definitely go down. But right before that happens, there
Alright.
is a scene where it is the next day, and that next day just so happens to be Momo's plastic surgery.
Oof.
Yeah, so she shows up in some pretty nice clothing, and Taechan and Shota are like, "Oh, Shota is sitting on the other side of the table."
Yes.
Key.
Yes, it's true.
But yeah, they basically ask her like, "Oh yeah, like what's the occasion?" And she said, "Oh yeah, it's today I'm doing the thing." And they're like, "Oh, what's the thing?" And it's basically just a callback to one of the earlier episodes about her getting plastic surgery, which is crazy because then we get to see her walking over to the surgery building hospital. I don't know what to call it, but she goes to the place, she gets the surgery, and she comes back. Everyone's at the kitchen table, and everyone's in the living room, and she comes back with a new nose.
Yeah.
I felt like, or I could see it like right off the bat because I thought it was pretty obvious. But some people didn't notice right away, like Masato and Rie, but I don't think that was that important. But it was funny because they call her Avatar, and she
Yeah.
says that she's not Avachan yet, which was cool. So Shota asks Sena if she's had plastic surgery before, and she's like, "Yeah, of course." I guess that's a normal thing for models. I guess it doesn't not make sense. And yeah, so that was pretty cool. I don't want to stay for too long on this, but of course, like, what do you guys think of Momo's new nose?
I was surprised he didn't notice because the bridge of her nose was red.
That's true.
And like,
That's true.
I don't know, but
I didn't notice that.
oh, really?
I was like, I noticed there's a difference, but like, if you told me that she didn't have plastic surgery, I'd be like, cool. Like, but like again, Masato was like, oh, you got plastic surgery? Oh wow, cool man, cool. And the fact that they said Avatar, I'm like, that makes so much sense because like Avatar, what 2012 is like the highest grossing film ever by that time.
Right.
Like, oh my god, wait until you see Avengers, guys. But yeah, but like Ava-chan, that was so funny because like I guess she wanted it more skinnier, I guess, or like a little higher.
I
And
feel
that was
like I guess in terms of like cosmetic wise, her nose was just like straight on, right? So what I'm assuming is that they kind of shaved off a part of her bone.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's a little flatter.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it'll kind of make like a
It gives her like definition, like to go like that.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
No, I can
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean,
felt
that's
like,
what I noticed.
Yeah.
I felt like her nose looked more defined. Like at least the bridge of her nose definitely looked more defined. I don't know if they might have done something into which like here and here were a little like deepened down or whatever, because it kind of made it look like it made the bridge of her nose stand out more. So they could have done both of the things that we said.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I think she looks all right. I thought she looked good before.
Yeah.
She looks good now.
Yeah.
It's cool. But the next part is
Ooh.
where it gets like, oh man. So Momo and everyone else sit at the table and they have a house meeting. Finally. Where Momo addresses a bunch of stuff. Like the whole time thing about how you're writing where you're going to be on the board and what time you're going to get back. And if you don't get back on time, like they want to know where you are. Like they're kind of worried. And which it makes sense. Like if I was living in a house with people and they're not home by the time they say they are, I get kind of worried, of course. But another thing she brings up is this big thing about communication. Of course, like if you're going to be out, then tell us or whatever, stuff like that. And this whole thing about Masato and how he holds the keys to one of the two cars that they have, even if like he's gone for an entire day or if he's not coming back. So he basically just has the car without them really talking about it. And then Tae-chan comes in about this big trash problem and how like no one's taking out the trash. And oh my gosh,
It's great.
like it's well needed, and I'm very surprised they didn't have it earlier.
Yeah. Who would have thought mundane housemates or roommate problems would be the drama of this episode? But Momo has a great point. If you're not gonna use the car, why are you keeping the keys? And there's two sets of keys, and not everyone knows about it. And it seems like Masato assumed everyone knew, but it seemed like the fact that he drives the car so much times, that's the only reason why he knew. No one else probably knew about this extra set. But yeah, it makes a great point. Why keep the keys if you're not gonna use it the whole day? There's 5 other people in the house that's gonna use it. But it seemed like whatever that Momo said, Masato's like, I don't get it. Like, what's the big problem? Like, you know, that's his kind of look into it. Like, it doesn't seem like a problem. But man, when Tae-chan addressed about the garbage problem, he got hella defensive.
Yeah, he did.
Man.
What did he say again? Like, what did he say? He's like,
he basically said that like there were 6 trash bags that were in the area, and it reached the point where it stunk up parts of the house.
Yeah.
So he had to do it himself and take out all the trash by himself.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was fed up.
And
I feel like it wasn't even just the trash that he was fed up about, you know? There's definitely some more frustration that was in him about a bunch of other stuff that he was really getting out there with that one statement.
But
Mm-hmm.
Masato said something after the trash. Is like, oh, it's gonna with was he the guy that said, oh, well, there's 6 people living here. Of course, it's gonna be 6 bags of garbage. Like that's a normal thing, or was it Taechan saying that?
I think
Taechan said that.
Taechan mentioned that. Yeah,
Yeah.
What was the thing that Masato said after about that?
I
trying to
think. Oh,
remember.
yes. Masato said that everyone is doing something in the house, but you
Oh,
just don't
right.
see it.
Yes.
Right.
So I took that as a snapback. Like, well, just because you don't see what I'm doing doesn't mean I'm helping out in the house. Like that's what I think Masato's trying to say. But like, bro, we don't even see what you do in the house. So like,
That's so true.
so like I took it like, oh dang, he kind of irked a thing. Like Taechan irked a thing from Masato when he said that. So I was like, ooh, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Like garbage wise, Taechan makes sense. Like if there's 6 garbage bags and there's 6 of you in a house, each of you should be responsible of like throwing trash out.
Mm-hmm.
Like
sure.
it's logical. What is it? I agree with Jay with Masato being very defensive about the garbage. Because we all know it's that love rectangle that's rooting everyone's problems. And like we know that Momo and Shota are not involved in it, but the tension from the love rectangle is spreading to Momo and Shota, and that's where all of the tensions are gonna happen.
And it kind of makes more sense now since Taechan practically stays in the house all the time. He probably sees it the most. So maybe that's why it's bothering him the most. Because it's like, what the heck, guys? You're living in like a mess. But he probably gets the blame for it because he's the fact that he stays in the house the most.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And like, I noticed that like, Masato was the only one to really clap back. You know, like Sena was sitting there and she was just taking it. Rie was sitting there, she was just taking it. Shota was in there, he was just taking it. But Masato is the one guy to be like, okay, but like this happened, and this is how I feel, and I'm sleazy.
No,
I'm showing it to you.
whoa. Okay. I think the fact that he said something back was actually all the reasons of like what this whole thing was about was pointing towards him, so he had to say something back. Like him taking the car, that was a specific thing on him. The trash, it doesn't seem like maybe, I don't know, Taechan said it in front of his face while he was doing it in front of the whole group. But the guy clapped back there, so maybe, I don't know, that's a thing. But yeah, it was weird. Everyone seemed like, well, they didn't say anything, but it seemed like they were understanding. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We're living like a mess. We should do something. And this was like the talk that was overdue. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It really felt like, as much as like everyone else is there, especially after Taechan talked, it really felt like it was just like Taechan and Masato butting heads. Like as much as like Masato talked back to Momo about this stuff, once Taechan started going, and once Masato kept going, it really just felt like it was them two, just kind of going back and forth. Yeah, it was rough. And then after that scene, that's when the episode ends. But one last thing, because at the very end of the episode, at the end of the credits, there is an important announcement. Which I have the exact words here.
Oh my god, you say
so at the end of the episode, there was an important announcement. And I quote, Terrace House, Boys and Girls Next Door, is looking for new housemates. Details can be found by searching for Fuji TV Terrace House. So they're looking for new housemates, y'all. What does that mean? Well, of course we know what it means, but like I need your observations. I need your theories. I need everything.
Is this a Reddit question?
I have something else.
Oh, okay,
we'll
sick. All right. Cool.
So what do y'all think? Who's it gonna be? Why is it gonna be? Like, I'm just, oh man, anything can happen. I feel like anything can happen.
Okay, what do you think? Who's going? Like, what's your thing? Like, what are you thinking right now,
Oh
James?
gosh.
Yeah.
It, like, as sad as it is for me to say it, like, it's gotta be Shota, man.
What?
It's gotta be Shota.
Wait.
What a curveball.
Bro,
Yeah.
if anyone's gonna leave, man, it's gotta be him. Cause nothing's happening. And it doesn't it doesn't seem like anything's gonna happen. Like, I've been asking for his girlfriend to show up for like 5 episodes now, and it hasn't happened. And anything that we've seen with Shota is like either him at school, him at work, or he's just sitting in the house. So it's like, I don't see anything coming up unless his girlfriend shows up. Like, that's the only thing that I can think of. But I just at this point I don't see it happening. So if anyone's gonna leave, I feel like it could be him.
But we just celebrated his birthday.
I know.
But what does that have to do with the story?
His narrative is like, oh, maybe he is the guy that'll bridge everyone together in these rough times. At the same spot he sits.
Has he though?
No, if
Has
anything,
he though?
if anything, he's instigated it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's true. I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah, go ahead, Cheska. What do you think? Who's gonna leave?
Wait, so does someone have to leave for someone to come into the house? Because my theory was they're just gonna add a 7th person, and that's gonna stir more drama up.
You could go either way. Go for it. What do you think? Either or, what happens? Just, what would you think? Like,
I mean,
what's in your head? Yeah.
In terms of leaving, I will agree that Shota would be the first one to leave because there's nothing going on. My question for that is that why, like, why didn't they kind of show something about that? Unless they're showing it in the next episode. Because, like, why did they announce it and they edit it every week?
Oh, that just makes things even worse.
Oh, so okay,
That
I have
just
a
makes
theory.
things
I have a
even
theory.
worse.
Do you think someone's gonna leave after they finish that conversation? How it ended?
Oh!
Does it get worse?
so
Does it get
petty.
worse? Imagine that.
That's
Oh my
petty, though.
goodness. Hey,
If we
man.
think
So-
it's Shota leaving, and if he leaves after that conversation, that's so stupid.
Imagine Shota's like, I can't live like this. I'm out. I'm out, guys. This is too much. We just celebrated your birthday like 2 days ago, man. I'm out,
I
guys.
know.
He's like, I can't handle any more relationship drama. I have my own.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
That could be a thing, Cheska, because it's like it's
Oh my
filmed so it like very like close to the episode, right? Like it's a week thing based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it seems weekly. So I'm pretty sure if they put that announcement up, someone from that house and told the producers that they're gonna leave or they're planning on leaving, right? So
Potentially.
it's either that or the producers are like, hey, let's just stir something up. Let's add a 7th person.
Damn.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
like,
That'd be intense.
I mean, I would love to see a 7th person and just like see how that 7th person interacts with like a group of 6 people that already have like relationships with each other. But in terms of leaving, I will actually laugh if Shota leaves right after that conversation.
Yeah, it'd be pretty funny.
That'd be so dramatic too.
No.
I'm out. Can't do
Yeah.
this. Just talking about garbage. You know what? You should do the garbage. And but you know why you should do it? Because I'm out.
He's walking out with his luggage and he's just like, we should have had this conversation 2 months ago.
Yeah.
He just walks out. moves on to another house.
Oh my god. That's such a curveball. I would never think he'd leave. I thought he would be like, you got a good point. I'm a draw or something.
It was like, everyone stop. Let me draw what's happening right now.
Yeah, because I think Momo's gonna leave first out of everyone.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Why
like,
is that?
based on what Cheska said, like how soon these things are filmed, and they said it right at the end of this episode that they're looking for someone's gonna leave based on that argument, I guess. Or and if it's Momo who started the conversation about it and they're not taking her seriously, she's like, okay, what's the point of staying here if like my words don't even mean anything? So I think she's gonna leave.
True.
Because I think again, Taechan, my boy is staying. Like, that's free rent for him.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think, and I think it's the best place for him to, like, I don't know, blossom as a man, or who will he become, whatever. Seina, she doesn't care. She'll like deal with it.
Yeah.
She's okay with it. Rie, ooh, I don't know about Rie. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's too busy. Just the fact that she's too busy. She probably didn't even know that there was a problem in the first place. Shota, too busy as well. Like, you know, like, he has a girlfriend and he works far away, right? So it's like, okay, maybe, yeah, I guess this has come to this point. Masato, man's too chill to care. Man's too chill to care. So, like, yeah, he's staying. I see him in the long haul. So, yeah, I think Momo's probably gonna leave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock it down.
Like,
Oh, you're locking it in.
I'm locking it
Wow.
down.
Ooh.
She's leaving first, unfortunately.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
like I really think it would be Shota, Momo, and then out of nowhere, Taechan.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. Because if that not love triangle, if that love rectangle is too much for him, he's gonna be like, I gotta go. I can't handle it anymore.
Damn, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So your top three would be Shota, Momo, Taechan. Okay.
Yeah.
Just for me, I was thinking it'd be like Shota, Momo, and then like. Okay, hold on. If you think about this,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seina's dream was to walk on a runway.
Oh.
Oh!
She already did.
She has
it.
achieved that dream.
Dream
Come on,
accomplished.
Come on.
Dream is done. Time to pack it up,
Come
boys.
Gotta go.
So like Sena,
That's true.
it could potentially happen. I feel like we could make a case for like every single member
That's
here,
true.
realistically. But
That's true.
I can see it. Like I can't see it because I like Sena as a character. I think she's really cool and she brings a lot to the house.
Yeah.
But she's achieved her goal.
That's
Now
true.
here's my question.
What's your question?
Okay.
If the seventh member is a guy
Ooh.
that Sena's attracted to,
Ooh,
would that change your ranking?
1,000,000%.
Like what? Like what? So if she's interested,
If the
in
new
that-
person coming in is someone that Sena is going to be attracted to, would that make James's leaving ranking change?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I feel like Sena loves the chase. So if that guy's interested in her, she'd be like, "I'll stay for a little while."
Oh,
I'm
word.
here.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll, because right now we're saying, oh, she already did her dream. What else is left to do in the house? Right. Yeah, I see it. More wine will happen. And honestly, guys, I want to see Masato like show emotion about like what happened.
No, that's not happening.
I don't think it's happening, but I just wanted to
No.
show emotion. Like, stop being so chill, dude. It's all right. It's okay. Big boys do cry. I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like Masato does show emotion, but the way that he shows emotion is just like it's slight mannerisms within the chill stature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's gonna be like, happy. He's like, yeah. Sad, he's like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Like surprised, he's like, oh yeah. Like I think it's the same thing with like a very minor adjustment. Like I feel like that's how he shows emotion, you know.
I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him so much. No, I don't. I dislike his mannerisms so much.
Oh my gosh.
Boy. Interesting
Just
times.
how he gets portrayed on screen is interesting.
In the sense that it's not interesting at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man. But since it is the end of the episode, and before we move on to the question that I have for you guys, is there anything else you want to say about the episode as a whole? Anything we might have missed?
I'm just excited for next week.
Sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm locking it down. Momo's leaving.
Oh man.
Oh.
Oh, imagine. I'm just imagining it. Like, oh man, just having
I'll be
that change of
sad though.
dynamic.
If she leaves,
Yeah.
So sad.
I'll be sad too. Because she just
Yeah.
got plastic surgery, and I feel like that's a whole nother narrative that we could learn from her.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And
For sure.
she's the most wholesome in that house.
Is she now?
I think so.
She's like,
Is she
but
now?
you know, she's looking for content for her book, you know, for her articles that she's gonna do for the newspaper. Bro, she's looking for storylines, which is why she might stay in the house.
Oh.
Now I'm thinking Rie might leave because it's like I'm too busy for this. and Makun clearly kissed this other girl. I'm out. No, I'm locking Momo in. I'm locking Momo in.
Okay.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. I'm sure. I've already locked in. I can't go back.
All right, gotta stay true. Gotta stay
Yeah.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so my question for you guys, as well as any of y'all watching, y'all can put in the comments, is: have y'all ever lived in a house with other people, like having roommates and such? And if you have, was there any situation like this, and how did you resolve it? And if you haven't, what is one thing that you would need to talk about in a house meeting?
Okay, so as a university student, I've had my fair share with living with roommates, and the first time that I lived with housemates, there was 5 of us, and it was the worst like housing experience for me
Yikes.
within these 4 years of my education. And I'm pretty sure we had like a talk about garbage, cleaning up stuff, and all that other things. And no one really followed it except for like 1 or 2 people, including me. And like I've put sticky notes, I told them in person. I've also like it got really bad to the point where I'm like, here's like $2. If you do the dishes, your own dishes,
Ew.
you can keep the $2.
What?
No one did it, so I took my $2 back.
Damn.
Ew.
But
Gross.
yeah, it was really bad. And then obviously I moved out, and then the next 2 years of like living with roommates were amazing because like I'm really close with all 3 of my roommates that I had and have right now. So yeah, I guess my advice would be, even if you did talk about it in the beginning, you have to keep talking about it, because if they don't solve it, then there's a point where you will have to move out. So yeah.
What about you, James? Have you had your fair share of roommates in this kind of experience?
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, as a university student I've lived outside, or I've lived in another home probably every term of my university career other than one. I spent one term staying at home, which was really cool. But in the terms that I wasn't at home, yeah, I spent my first year in a dormitory, and I shared a bathroom with this one guy. And even just with that, is like, trying to communicate with them, even when it comes to just like stay, like keeping the bathroom clean, like having those rules and kind of making sure to implement them is very important. Luckily for me, like he was cool with it. He did his own thing. I did my own thing. It was cool. In my second year, it was a very different story. I lived with four other guys, and living with four other guys is it's a problem. It's cool because like I knew all the guys and we were all pretty chill. But yeah, I remember probably a month in is when we had our first house talk, which was probably late. It was definitely late actually. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of things like not doing the dishes or not keeping the kitchen clean, not taking out the garbage, not clearing out the fridge. Um, yeah, like a lot, like it was a lot of stuff. And it was one of those things where it was like, Cheska, like you are preaching to the choirs right now when you say that, like, you gotta tell them, but then you gotta like remind them. It reached a
Yeah.
point where like probably every month we had a house meeting addressing a situation or just reminding people. And since then, no one lives with each other anymore, except for these two guys. But that's because one of them did co-op, so he was barely in that place anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, since then, I recently lived with two other people for I want to say 3 months before this whole quarantine happened. Not even like 2.5 months. And yeah, it was one of those things where uh, right in the beginning we had a house meeting, which was perfect. And one big thing that helped a lot was having just a posted up list of what you do, and we had like a point system where basically it's like if you did something, then you check it off. And if you're lacking in something, then the other people are just going to remind you, which was really good. I thought it was like a lot better. And so yeah, I find that like having a system and staying true to the system helps a lot. And that, at the end of the day, kind of winds down to who you're living with.
Yeah.
So if you ever plan on living with people, make it the right people and have a system when it comes to anything that happens in your house. Like that will make it like the best experience for you. Yeah. But Jay, what about you?
So I haven't really lived with roommates, but for numerous times I've traveled with like cottage trips, like week getaways. I guess that's the closest thing I ever had. And if people didn't step up their stuff, it's like, all right, just clean up, man. Just don't do whatever. We'll give them a chore for sure. Or like, I guess we kind of called them out, and unfortunately, crowd mentality kind of helps out. It's like, hey, man, why aren't you doing stuff, man? Clean up or whatever. Because if they're not pulling in the weight, it's like, yo, guy, we gotta get out of this cottage by like the end of like this turn time. We gotta get going. But
Yeah.
it sucks because it's like, okay, I think it's even worse if you're friends with them prior and you don't know what their habits are at home. So you start living with them and you find out they're slobs, or like you just don't mix well with whatever they're doing at home and whatever you're like I'm doing at home, right? Like it just doesn't mesh up well. So it just sucks. And it's like, I don't know if you ever had talks with your friends like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be great if we lived together or we traveled together?"
Oh,
And
Yeah.
like in theory, yeah. Then you start realizing they're like what they do, and it's like, oh my god, this sucks. And it's like it's unfortunate. It's like they're a great friend, but like you would not want to live with them at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess you gotta have to talk to them out, saying, hey, like maybe they don't genuinely know what they're doing is wrong, like what they think is like normal is not normal, or like good etiquette, I guess. So yeah, talk it out first, and like at first, don't make it seem like they're the problem or like blame them or something. Just be like, hey man, you ever realize like you don't wash your dishes when you're done eating your food? It's kind of disgusting, don't you think? Like, and it's like, I get it, like the first, like, play it off easy, then if it becomes a bigger issue, then like, yeah, have the house talk or whatnot. But it just really sucks because it's just like, not even just like living together. Like there are times it's like, wouldn't it be cool if we worked together? Because I've had experiences. It's like, oh yeah, thanks for the job. Then we start working together, and unfortunately, the friendship dies off.
Cool.
Because I don't know, like we don't work well, or just like maybe we see each other so much we kind of get overburned. So it sucks, I guess, if I put it in that perspective. But yeah, it's interesting when you start seeing people that live, I guess, how they are at home, and if they suck at it or if you suck at it, you don't even know, and like you get called out for it. It sucks.
Yeah, for me, I got really lucky because my better roommates were the friends that I knew prior. Yeah, like my current roommate right now, we've been friends since first year, and then we decided to live with each other this past year, and it's been going really well. And my two other roommates beforehand, yeah, we were friends before, and it worked out really well. And in terms of working with your friends, I've worked with a friend before, and that worked out really well too. So I think I just got really lucky with that because like I've heard a lot of bad stories about if you are working or living with friends that you knew prior, then yeah, bad news could happen. But for me, I got really lucky with it.
I feel like it's pretty like the choosing the right people when it comes to at least living situations. That even goes within like the friend group, like because all the people that I've lived with, like they've all been my friends prior and are still my friends now. But definitely like in like my better situation, like it was still with friends that like I've met in my first year. In the other situation, it was friends that I met in first year, and so it's really just one of those things where it's like it's great living with friends. Of course, like, but you just have to choose the ones that are gonna make your life easier at the end of the day.
Yup.
Yeah. So it's cool living with friends, but it's also not cool living with friends. It really just depends on who you're living with and what the situation is. Yeah.
So I guess you just have to be lucky. If
Yeah,
it mixes
so.
right, then I guess you're
100%.
fine, right? Like if it's all good. But yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, that was a great question, James. Thanks a lot. But before we go, unfortunately, Tim's not here. He's our go-to guy for this. Wherever you are, Tim, we miss you. We miss you. But he would do our plug, so I'm gonna do my best to take that seat. And yeah, so guys. Okay. So guys, before we go, how can we reach each other, or like how can they reach you guys? Huh? Tell me more.
Yeah, you can reach me on Instagram at jamesjt_27. I also do have my personal YouTube channel, of course, which you will find down below in the description. Cheska, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Insta at CheskaCamille_. And then again, I guess TikTok. You'll find me on TikTok at ChessCamille.
Cool. And yeah. You'll find me at Twitch, I guess. I play video games. And yeah, that's Twitch/FerJiggles. FER Jiggles. Like Jigglypuff. And yeah, this has been an episode. Thank you so much, guys, for listening once again to We the Panel, a Terrace House podcast. Take care, everyone. Bye. Oh my god, who's gonna leave? Who's gonna leave?